Welcome to Making Love Better Together, the adult conversation. I'm your host, Yanni Brown, and today we have two fabulous women here with us that we'd love to have you introduce yourselves, and we're going to get started.
Thank you so much. My name is Janice Oda. I'm the host at Intellectual Radio's Voices of Change that airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. I'm also an employee at City of Chicago in finance at OEMC and also have my own tax business, Gray Tax Services. I am so excited about talking about this topic today because I think it not only impacts me, but it impacts a lot of women. So I'm ready to get started.
Awesome.
Awesome. My name is Lady Alicia. Outside of being a daughter and a mother and a friend and a lover, I am a fitness professional,
Yes.
as well as a event specialist and a plethora of other things. Therefore, I deem myself as a multipreneur. I too am excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Ms. Yanni and G Rose Productions. Thank you all for having me. I'm ready to dive in when you are.
Okay, then let's get started. So, we hear all the time, I'm secure in the bag and I have it all together and I'm a boss and I'm all these amazing things. My question is, how do you balance that? Because there's this whole conception of team no sleep and, work, 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 work. And okay, well, what about the kids? Like, what about the husband? How do you keep balance in all of that?
I think one of the things that I do when I really try to balance, and I do all those things. When I had the kids, when I had the husband, when I had the great job, when I had businesses, I think the main thing that I had to do was take care of myself and have my own inner happiness. If I'm happy, then I can exude it to my kids, my family. I can do better on my job. So for me, balance is self-happiness and taking care of self.
So again, I'm piggybacking off what you said.
Sure.
There's this whole self-care movement that's like really popular with the bubble bath and the candles. Did you arrive at that space of taking care of self, or did you start out that way?
Oh, I didn't start out that way.
Okay.
I start out just spinning my wheels, trying to do everything, getting no sleep, but I had to morph into doing that just to take care of myself.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay. And Lady Alicia?
Can you repeat the question? No, seriously. The balance is an ongoing process for me.
Okay.
I believe that I am at a stage of my life where I'm finding out that it is very relevant to self-care. When it comes to balancing it all between work and I have a husband. I had a husband. He was my husband. I have a husband. So my husband life and my parental life, I am in a place where I've sent my final seed off to college. And
Final seed.
my final seed.
Okay.
Two seeds blossoming in this world, and that final seed is off to college, living his life to the fullest, and I found myself with a lot of time on my hands. And so I've gone into the corporate world, and I realized that working for somebody else after being a multipreneur and working for yourself for so long is a challenge in itself. So learning self-care is very imperative to me because I pride myself in being a giver. I take care of people really, really well. In my line of work and everything I do, I'm servicing, and I service with a smile. But when it comes to me, then that's a challenge in taking care of me to make sure I am in shape for others. That's what my challenge is today. So that whole balance thing, I'm working on it.
I like it. Okay. I'm working on it. So, knowing what you know now about love, life, balance, the career, the whole bit, what would you do different, and more importantly, why?
I would say when it comes to love, what I would do different is not be so accommodating, not bend so much. You can get so absorbed when you have, and when I was married, I had my own family, and then I got married, so we had a blended family.
Okay.
So there were stepkids, my kids, him. And you get so into that you almost lose yourself. So what I would do is I would in self-reflection, I would probably think, you know what? If I could go back and do things again, what I would do is not be so accommodating and not be so, I'll use this word that we talked about earlier, so submissive. And I would probably be a little bit more selfish and think about self-care more so than just getting involved with the family and just trying to accommodate everyone and be everything to everyone, because you can't. When it comes to love, that's a whole different topic. When it comes to love, what would I do different? I'd probably say not a whole lot. I always had in the forefront of my mind not to do anything that I wake up the next morning and regret. And I kind of tried to live by that mantra. Sometimes I think it was almost too safe. You know what I mean? In the sense that, maybe I missed out on something. When you talk to people and say, when they talk about their great life and all the things that they did, some of that I feel that I missed out on. But I still think if I were to do things again, I'd probably do it that same way.
Okay.
And it's a little different for me. I don't think I would change anything. I think every step of the way, every path I've taken was a design path for me to be who I am today.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I feel like if I did not experience all of the challenges that I have endured and come through, that it would not allow me to be who I am today. When it comes to love, I've always been stupid hard. She's laughing because she knows me like to the core. I am a fairy tale lover in every aspect of the word fairy tale. I am, and that comes to my family, that comes to my friends, that comes to my companion. I love hard, and I enjoy every bit of it. I love loving hard, and I would say the past would be you grow expecting that love to come back to you just the same, and it don't come back to you just the same. So when you live with that expectation of what you're giving, you're going to receive, then that's the stone that keeps hitting you in the head down those paths that you travel when you loving hard. But I'm in a space today I can smile and I can glow and really say out loud, fairy tale love exists. It exists. Yes, it exists. I wasn't looking for it, and it did not come from the source in which I anticipated it coming from, but it was well worth everything that I put out there. I wouldn't change anything that I've put out there because I'm a firm believer in what you give, you shall receive at some point in life. So I wouldn't change a thing.
And I can agree with that, but I think the whole thing about it is I think women generally love hard. I think all of us love hard. But the truth of the fact is it should be reciprocated. And if they don't love as hard as I do, I think you should get out.
So, since we brought that into the, look, you see how I put the whole paper down, like, so since you brought that into the conversation,
Yeah.
what is it about us that we're not taught that allows us to be submissive or not submissive? Because right now there's, the topic that we are combative when it comes to being submissive. But I think if we were taught how to love differently, submission wouldn't be such a bad word and it wouldn't have the negative connotation that it has. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because we're not taught to date per se.
You don't think we're taught today?
No, absolutely not. We're taught to have a boyfriend and get married. We're not taught to date multiple people. So in an era where single is the end thing, how do you tie that to submission, and what does that look like for you?
Submission for me, because for me, it does overwhelmingly sound negative. However, if you're with the right person.
But why does it overwhelmingly sound negative?
Because it almost sounds like I'm going to be a doormat. I'm going to be submissive. I'm
But-
going to.
But who told you that? You see how I'm trying to
Who
get
told
to
me that?
You see how I'm trying to get to the heart
Yeah,
of,
who-
okay, so
who
it's based
told
on
me
your
that?
definition, or is it based on your belief?
It's definitely not based on definition, so it has to be based on my
Ha,
background
okay,
belief. Yeah,
okay.
I'd say that. But if you found the right person who is submitting to you, like I said again, reciprocity. If he's giving to you as much as you're giving to him, then you don't mind submission. It's mutual exploitation, and that's basically what it
I'm
is,
sorry,
right?
did you say exploitation or exploitation?
Exploitation.
Okay, just checking.
We're mutually exploiting each
Okay,
other.
okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
So.
I like the twinkle in your eye when you said there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with it.
Okay. And Miss Lady Alicia, your thoughts on submission, given that you come from the puppy dog fairy tale, the husband, and now.
Yeah. So funny thing about all of this is that Yanni, of course, being the love expert and that she is, used to hold the spot in my radio show as the love optimist, and I was the pessimist because I didn't believe in love at all. And
Oh, I want to hear more about this.
another time. Right now, Right now, I've come a long way. This is a fact. This is true, and I'm still learning.
Okay.
I'm not in denial about that. I am still learning. Being able to submit was a challenge for me only because, again, I have always been in control of everything. If I'm the lover and I'm the giver and I'm the excitement of the relationship, then it's me that is giving all, and to trust somebody to give to me what I'm giving out has not been there. So
And
reciprocity,
I'll-
like she said.
I'll piggyback into that thought of what I originally said initially, which is why I feel like we don't know how to love is because we give and give and give. And I go back to the adage statement that boys are coddled growing up and girls are taught to be women early. So we don't know how to receive love, which is how we in turn become these amazing givers. And then we don't see the guy that's trying to give back to us because we don't know what that looks like. And you know, I tell people all the time, even in my workshops, when you're ready for love, let me know. And they're like, I am. But then they're walk down the street and a guy trying to hold the door open. They're like, I got it. Then you're not ready.
No. Yeah, I agree.
So that has a lot to do with the puppy dog and trusting someone with that vulnerable part of you, which is what we have not been able to do with our men, unfortunately, sometimes.
And you said two key things. One, you said, you know, we're not able to receive it because we don't know it's there. For me, it wasn't there. So it wasn't there for me to receive. And then another
Like,
thing,
let's be clear.
let's be clear. And then another thing that you said earlier was that we're not taught to date. And I mean, I wasn't taught a whole lot of stuff. My mom had me very young. I call myself the test dummy. The test dummy and being the first child, and being the first child through school, the first child through college, the first child through parenting. So I had to self-learn a whole lot. So it wasn't a whole lot of examples out there for me trying to learn it on my own. So not being taught to do it and just being a vessel out there to receive and learn and bump your head on brick walls until you figure it out
Yeah.
is a whole nother dynamic to the situation.
Which brings me to probably our last question for this segment, but when did you fall in love with you? And what does that look like?
When did I fall in love with me?
Yeah.
Probably from birth. I mean,
Oh.
no, to say
That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Probably at a very young age.
Okay.
It wasn't like I went through life with the self-hate and self-doubt and low self-esteem, and then, you know, finally realized, oh, Janice, you love yourself. No, I think I've always loved myself, even
Okay.
as a child. So
Was that poured into you through your
it
parents?
was poured into me through my parents, my family, and my village.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Village-
always told us we were queens and kings
Yes,
at a young age.
that's important.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And for me, it's now.
Now?
Yes, I'm learning to love me now. I feel like I am open to looking at myself now, because once you become a parent, then, you know, for me, once I became a parent, I was out the door.
Okay.
It was all about these seeds I brought out into this world.
You are killing me with the
yeah,
seeds.
Listen, that's what they are. They grow, they blossom, and they
Okay.
do things. So these seeds out that we put out in the world, I felt like that was my primary goal, my primary focus, my primary responsibility was to make sure that they get to where they need to be in life. And then at this point, now that, again, that last seed is gone to college, what you gonna do with your life? Do you know who you are? How you feel
Yes.
about you? Okay, you might
Okay.
be a little cute. Somebody might like you, girl. So it's a whole lot of new dynamics that I'm exploring about myself, and just allowing myself to be free and be me, to love me.
That is awesome.
beautiful.
Okay. I'll answer that final question myself.
Yes, Yanni.
I've fallen in love with myself on several occasions, at several entities in my life. Usually after a heartache, a heartbreak, or something tumultuous in my life, because I've changed. So I had to fall in love with that new person. And that's been an interesting journey overall. But I want to thank you, ladies, for being one of our first guests to join us on the Making Love Better Together, the adult conversation. I firmly believe that these conversations are important because, to me, no one's having them. There's a lot of stuff going on in reality TV that doesn't fit our reality. And I definitely wanted a show that spoke to us as women, moms, entrepreneurs, wives, and even the men folk that will join us on our show too. I wanted real answers to real questions. And you guys said some key things that were very critical to what I believe is a healing session for us as women. And thank you guys so much for joining us for the Making Love Better Together, the adult conversation. We'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today, Design with a Purpose, who gave us these beautiful floral arrangements. They smell absolutely amazing. And then we also have Leave Me Be Pest Control for all of your pest control needs. They got you. And then also, last but not least, thank you to Love Corkscrew for Head Over Heels. We will definitely be enjoying these bottles once we're done taping the show. Final thoughts. Final thoughts as you women are here joining us today, and the women that are also watching this webisode. Who you are, please understand that who you are is deeply rooted in who you were, while entangled in who you're becoming. Give yourself permission to becoming. That's the part. I think life happens in a way that allows us to become our best versions of ourselves. And little do you know, the best version of yourself is designed to help someone else who is also becoming. So definitely reach back and give yourself permission to become the best version of you. Thank you so much.